Have you not heard of the Dark Brotherhood? Of the remorseless guild of paid assassins and homicidal cutthroats? Join us, and you'll find the Dark Brotherhood to be all that and so much more. We are, more than anything, a union of like-minded individuals.
I thought that maybe I was done with Battle Brothers, that nothing could bring new excitement into it for me, that I'd run out of stupid challenges to keep me playing. But you know what brought me back? Mods. And no, it's not Legends, to answer your first question. This is the story of the Dark Brotherhood, the Assassin's Guild of Elder Scrolls fame in Battle Brothers. The Dark Brotherhood are bound to the Five Tenants, and to break any of them is to invoke the wrath of Sithis, the deity of emptiness and the void. The tenets are as follows. 1. Never dishonor the Night Mother, Sithis' baby mama. 2. Never betray the Dark Brotherhood or its secrets. 3. Never disobey or refuse to carry out an order from a Dark Brotherhood superior. 4. Never steal the possessions of a Dark Brother or Dark Sister. 5. Never kill a Dark Brother. Unlike some people, Astrid, I will lead this family faithfully in service of the Night Mother and our ancient traditions. We start out with 2 assassin brothers, with one of whom I was baited into making a hybrid thrower. Our listener is JC Sato for short, the creator of this origin and the majority of the mods I have installed. The thrower-to-be is Nazir, who exchanged his legs, NPC immunity, and chic beard for 2 stars and initiative. I'd be a pessimist too. A quirk of this origin is that at levels 2, 5, and 8, your bros get random special abilities instead of choosing perks. On the whole, I would call this a nerf to your company's power, especially in the early game. On screen are the 5 poisons you may get at level 2. Each requires you to do at least 6 HP damage in a single hit to proc. The best 2 are Mudblood Venom and Violet Paralytic, which thankfully Sato rolled. With all that sorted, the assassins gear up and head to town. We put the composite bow to good use by immediately selling it.
Here is a quick guide on the best way to use a warbow. So we have this warbow we just got from some mercenaries we killed. We have this guy with 71 attack, and this guy with 82. So what we do is we go to the marketplace, and we sell it, because it's useless.
The Assassin Guild's first contract is for a lowly Nomad bandit, Tugel the Serpent, and we receive intel that he's planning on raiding a local caravan. We hitch a ride to the 2 conscript guards, and when dusk settles, we melt away in our black robes into the cart. With our luck, Tugel's band didn't see us coming until it was too late to run. The conscripts rush forward, confident in their nimble abilities, and we follow close behind. One of the slingers reminds Nazir why he shouldn't play lacrosse at night, but Sato's able to take down Tugel without a scratch. While 4 vs 9 seems like a disaster waiting to happen, this battle shows how much more of Chads conscripts are compared to caravan hands, claiming 6 of the 8 kills for themselves. With Tugel's body left for vultures, Sato and Nazir continue with the caravan. Knowing that the conscripts won't carry us forever, we pick up a new brother along the way. Hakon is bloodthirsty, a natural-born brawler, and perfect for the Brotherhood. With a couple of more recruits from Wolin, Sato leads the men on a contract for none other than Willard, the murderous son of the town's now deceased barber. Willard allegedly stabbed his father for wanting to trim the mop on top of his head, and now his mother has asked us for revenge. Willard isn't alone, although his gang of hooligans prove less than brave after we give the son too close a shave on the beard. Shouldn't ask for a 0 next time, buddy. That makes 2 successful contracts, and the Night Mother is pleased. Vander, an ailing and somewhat mercurial peddler, approaches our band in Crouchstall and tells us he has what it takes to be an assassin. His tragic melee attack leaves much to be desired, but he claims to be a decent shot with a crossbow. Luckily for him, he doesn't have to wait long for his chance to prove himself. A band of Noxers attack the Brotherhood on an open plain, and we have to tactically retreat to a defensible position. Vander quickly proves his worth with his arm, entrapping the Tier 3 Nacho in a net, and skewering another. But what really makes him brother material is faithful dedication to following the 3rd tenet. I'm sure not many men would obey an order to be a Nacho meat shield, but not many men are Vander the Snake. Welcome to the Brotherhood. Following a return to town, we find a surplus of dyes being sold at market. This isn't a merchant guild, but Vander the peddler swears that he can get a good deal. We're not fond of the prospect of leaving us nearly penniless, but Vander assures us that we'll be able to quickly turn a meaty profit at the nearest city. He better hope so, because we arrive at Wunderstadt with a single crown to our name. And with the die selling for barely above market value, we have to pawn our own weaponry, including Nazir's favorite hatchet, just to afford the men's wages. That's effectively breaching the fourth tenet, stealing a Dark Brother's possessions. The peddler may have made a good showing against the Noxers, but he has invoked the wrath of Sithis. Now, our next contract is a double, a local brigand, and Vander the Snake. Reading the room apparently isn't Vander's strong suit, and he naively enters the lair of Ice Pick Ingvar in just a tunic. I wonder whether that bandage he put in his backpack will save him. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Unfortunately, we had to have Ingvar kill Vander in order to preserve the fifth tenet, and in the confusion one of the raiders got away. We won't be able to be so sloppy again. Our next three contracts, a marauding orc, a southern freedom fighter, and an ugly redhead with acne scars, go without a hitch. But I found that this origin is pretty difficult in the early game. The only poison I'd spend a perk point on is Violet Paralytic, the one that reduces an enemy's AP, and the rest are questionable or much weaker than perks like Colossus, 9 Lives, Fast Adaptation, Adrenaline, or Gifted. The assassins have such low HP, and sometimes I don't feel like I can afford Colossus on some bros, so I ended up getting many more injuries and morale breaks than I do in other campaigns. I would focus on hiring backgrounds with higher average HP to make this more manageable. With good game knowledge and positioning, these small fights are still not much of a challenge, but I found it hard to scale the company without perks holding me up. I think my playing was hindered because I was chatting and laughing in a voice chat with my buddies, and that was more concentrated than I would have achieved better results. This fight here is a great example of how my mods have made what would normally be a fair but not overly threatening encounter into something where I have to trade a lot of armor and HP damage to dagger gear and win. I keep my men out of the zone of control of the two shield raiders, while I send 2 of them around the side to kill the poachers. By focusing the poachers, I not only reduce the damage I receive, but give myself chances to morale break the more dangerous raiders. Unfortunately, the 2 bros who engage the shield raiders are not aided by dodge, gifted, shield expert, or even 9 lives. The level 2 potions are all offensive perks, but of course we know many early game perks we take are for survival and defensive purposes. Consequently, these bros don't do so hot. Their armors are destroyed, and I end up losing one of them before morale breaking the last guy and daggering his gear. The Dark Brotherhood's challenge is that it is struggling to snowball effectively. Instead of wiping early fights with mass adrenaline and fast adaptation, I have to trade more armor and HP damage to win. I take more injuries because I don't have the buffer of HP that Colossus grants. Gifted is no longer an easy choice on Tempo Bros because they need multiple perks, so most are left 5% weaker than they would be in another origin. I feel the pain peaking as my bros reach level 5 and they only have 2 perks instead of the usual 4. If they've got Holy Water Poison and a level 5 specialty that just isn't synergizing with how I built them, then I'm going to have a harder time fighting beasts or humans than I would in most other origins. I think for a more inexperienced player, this is going to be a challenging origin to try. I'm not dogging JC Sato's balancing though, as I haven't played this mod fully, and honestly, I'm enjoying being challenged in Battle Brothers again. This is why I play the game, to have to exert my tactical brain, and this campaign is scratching the itch in a way I haven't felt for a while with this game. The level 5 specialties intrigue me, because as of right now, I haven't played them too much. Mubarazin and Ambidextrous encourage new tactical options, which I love. But I also just kinda want the comfort of the perks I know how to count on. Predator and Torturer seem like the most helpful in general, as they don't require much fancy setup for a player like me who knows how to position my bros and efficiently dispatch enemies. With the Dark Brotherhood though, I'm focusing more on trying to beat the difficulty curve than fancy techniques. Not only are my bros injured and missing armor, the combination of negative settlement situation and Vander's poor deal with the dies leaves us short on crowns to buy gear or roll on bros. I also want to speak on the changes to perks and weapons brought on by mods. Throwing weapons have been nerfed hard with the reduced stack size. 3 jabs to a stack makes me covet quick hands and bags and belts. But if I take both, then those are my only perks until level 6. And then I want Throwing Spec, Nimble, Fearsome, Duelist. I never picked up Colossus, Fast Adaptation, or Pathfinder. Suddenly, 2 fewer jabs in a stack has huge ramifications. 9 Lives and Resilient are buffed, which is nice, but I'm not really taking them. Taunt, Rotate, and Footwork have lower fatigue costs, and I'm excited about Taunt when I eventually get that. Polearm spec affects all pole weapons, and I think that's going to be huge. All in all, these tweaks change the game without overhauling it like Legends, which is a nice medium for me, because I don't have to feel like I'm learning a whole new game while I'm in college and working. Once the assassins feel they've calmed down from that last fight, we go back to Wolin to follow up on a rumor of a new contract. Nothing too out of the ordinary. A wannabe thug stole some tome, and now Maraminov wants him dead and his property returned, blah blah blah. All these people hire us for the same reasons. Couldn't there be some juicy drama around here? I heard some guy roleplay the birds and the bees with a watermelon, and his parents aren't asking us to redeem their family's dignity? Ugh. Anyway, a scoundrel who fancies himself too good for thieving joins us to take a stab at, well, stabbing. But to teach him humility, Nazir orders him to the corner of the shield wall. This team could certainly use a brother with some long-term promise. So far, we'd probably be doing better if we stuck with those two conscripts from day one. We find the Tome Stealers hiding in desert cliffs, and their leader brandishes a mean-looking axe at us. His 95 mail was more valuable to me than seeing my relatives for Christmas last month, so top priority this battle is giving him the old Caesar special. He must have heard our taunts, because he came raging at the team like a redditor, commenting about a rebuttal to when he said AoE Sorlance bros are bad. Whatever. Fortunately for us, that simile carries over to his intelligence too, and his movement gets him trapped in the range of Nazir's pike. So much for the 95 mail, and my hopes of getting the Dark Brotherhood ahead of the difficulty curve slip away yet again. And even worse, we let one of the brigands run away. Caught up in a whirlwind of negative emotions, I go properly deal with my anger by interrupting an orc young playdate and proving my parents should always supervise their children when they play outside. They kept crying every time we tagged them. Sorry, that's just how the game goes. You're it. High off the power trip, Sato leads us to an abandoned ruin to hopefully find some more playground friends. Turns out it's actually a bunch of real killers that make the Dark Brotherhood look like a cosplay of someone's Skyrim DeviantArt page. Our armor is half torn, I'm playing at 11:30 PM and need to go to sleep, and just maybe there's a ghost of a chance that we can take down this Nomad camp for great gear and a chance at a famed item.
Go now, child of Sithis, walk in the shadow of fear, and bring glory to our dread father.